Good morning, it is 2018, it's the 1st of January, it's New Year's Day. Happy New Year to all our followers. Now then, we are at Chessington World of Adventures. You may say we're always at Chessington World of Adventures. Well, that's sort of strictly true, but we weren't actually planning to come here today. We had planned to go down to Margate and head to Dreamland. However, the weather has kind of stopped us doing that because 6 hours of rain between the 6 hours of opening, between 12 and 6, meant that it really wasn't a good idea to travel 2.5 hours there and 2.5 hours back to sit in the rain all day. So we checked the weather forecast for Chessington, which said it would be quite nice. It's raining. It's raining. So here we are underneath a, well, we're by the fish and chip shop and we're kind of underneath a big canopy and we're staying dry for the moment. But while we're here, we're going to kind of check out what's going on for the close season and indeed catch the end of the Winters Tail event. Now then, we actually haven't been to Chessington since it closed, which was the sort of the second week of October. We came for Creepy Caves Unearthed and we came for Halloween and we haven't been back since. We didn't come in the final week. We haven't been back for Zoo Day since then either. So this is our first trip to the park to see kind of what's going on. Now we know some rides are going to be in maintenance mode. We've seen a couple here. We will pan round to Black Buccaneer in a second and indeed Vampire behind us so we can show what's going on there. And we also know that you can see the Dragon Falls drop from sort of the Tiny Truckers area. So we're going to see if we can kind of see any scaffolding or anything over the drop that might indicate that the rock is indeed being built. In terms of zoo, we're going to wander down to Trail of the Kings, because obviously Land of the Tigers is opening next year and we're expecting the Tigers to move. Now we don't really know how far that is across, so we're not really sure whether the Tigers will have moved yet or whether indeed they'll wait until after maybe the February event before moving them across. But they'll want to get them into their new home. These two need to move over to the other four which are coming across as well. So there's quite a few things to look at while we're here. We're going to take in a couple of shows. We'll take in, as we said, some of the winter theming as well, and we'll kind of go from there. But while we're here, let's have a quick look at Vampire. So we're panning round. So usual scaffolding, kind of things you'd expect down the Vampire lift hill. No sign of any kind of repaint or anything this year. We know it was clean last year. And we'll come around here. We'll have to be careful of the... It's not raining that bad. We'll come out. Kind of see Vampire down there. There's a tunnel. And then around to Black Buccaneer. So, Black Buccaneer has been completely dismantled again. Now, it was completely dismantled last year and the boat itself was painted and it looked really good, and they also added the boards down, the kind of gates boards down the side as well, so you didn't have to have the 2 adult rule at every end. But normally it is put under scaffolding every year rather than completely dismantled, so we are a bit surprised to see it completely dismantled. But if we pan back round again, you know, the whole motor and everything's been taken out. The boat is actually sitting over by Seastorm again, and we're gathering, although we can't see, but we will go around and have a look, that the supports are kept underneath the kind of Dragon's Fury area over here by Griffin's Gallon. But we're not sure yet, but we'll have a look. But really strange that it's been completely dismantled again. Don't know, maybe they'll paint the supports this time, because they seem to have forgot those last year. They were still brown when they went back up, where they've been peeling for many years, even though the boat looked nice. The supports are forgotten about, so fingers crossed. Let's have a little look around. We'll take in some shows, as we said. We'll take in any kind of construction that we can see. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, you may or may not know that the Winters Tail event was supposed to run to the 3rd of January. Funnily enough, when we planned to come to the park, we planned to come after the 24th because it's free for annual pass holders. It was £15 beforehand. You know, my kids are at an age where they're not really going to go and see Santa or get presents or anything like that. So we didn't visit for the beginning half of Winter's Tail, but we are still at the end of it, and the park is still acknowledging it's Christmas on the 1st of January, which is fine because officially it is, and there are still bits and pieces around. However, the rides have shut and it's now turned to a zoo day. So from the 26th onwards, when your pass could be used, it's now a zoo day. So rides like the Gruffalo and Tiny Truckers and Carousel and the other ones that were supposed to be open are actually closed, which was really disappointing. We found this out just before Christmas when we were planning our trip, and we were actually going to come up on the 27th rather than in the new year, and we decided not to come because it'd be quite busy out and about. The weather was a lot nicer than it was now, and we didn't come because the rides weren't open. Now I don't know where the change happened on this, and we don't really know why the change happened on this, but as you can see behind the fence here, some of the Gruffalo boats have already been removed. You know, we can't get access down to the Wild Woods, so we'll pan around now very slightly. You can see that the fish and chip shop is indeed open. All of this is closed up behind us here, and all of that is closed down there. So we've got no access to that, and we've got no access to over there. So yeah, the ride shut early, which, you know, is a little bit of a surprise. We'll walk along here. This is all closed, this is all shut down. It's all funky music going on though. Doesn't feel very Christmas-like. Funky nonetheless. Now take a look over at Seastorm. So Seastorm has opened many years before for the Christmas event, but this year it didn't. It's been completely stripped down again. It was stripped down last year and it looked like a lot of the motors were replaced, and indeed some of the beams were kind of replaced, repainted. As you can see, as my son coughs into it, that it's been completely stripped down. Would imagine the boats are in the workshop. There's certainly not anywhere around here, but if we quickly pan around there, you will see the Black Buccaneer boat, which is where it sat last year, and it's sitting just there again this year. I don't know if we can get any closer, maybe we can. And then through the gap, there it is, just sitting there, chilling out, not really doing a lot. So we'll carry on and have a look around, because these are obviously the Black Buccaneer and the Seastorm are two main rides that we can see walking around the park. So we'll have a quick look now and see whether or not we can get around the corner a bit to Tiny Trackers area and see if we can see anything happening on the drop to Dragon Falls, or what will be new and improved for next year.
So is everyone having a good morning so far? Fantastic news! Now my name is Alex and I'm joined on the beach by Cody this afternoon, and we are going to be introducing you to the real stars of the show, which is of course our fantastic sea lions. And this morning we've got our two beautiful girls, Carla and Ariel, who are hopefully going to do lots and lots of showing off for you. Now over here with me is Carla. She is 8 years old and she was born at Odense in Denmark, and Carla here absolutely loves attention, don't you, Carla? So what we need everyone to do is, after the count of 3, give Carla and Ariel a nice loud cheer. So 1, 2, 3. Now unfortunately, sea lions themselves are not the top of the food chain. Now the girls are very talented actresses and they are going to act out something for you that might eat a sea lion. So when you know what it is, shout it out nice and loud for us. So girls, let's take it away. Exactly right, there being a big scary shark. Give the girls a nice big round of applause there, adventurers. Now if the girls were to eat a piece of litter, then something not very good might happen. So girls, can we see what might happen if you were to eat a piece of rubbish? So let's give the girls a nice big ah, adventurers. So girls, are you okay? Carla, are you okay? Cody, is Ariel okay over there? No? Okay. I think they're doing a little bit more acting adventures. So what we need everyone to do is, after 3, shout "wake up, girls," and give them a nice big round of applause. So 1, 2, 3. Now sea lions have skeletons a little bit like dogs, but with shorter hind legs. So this means the girls are very agile. They can run, they can jump, they can even climb. Now seals look slightly different on land. So girls, can we see what a seal might look like? And how do they move, girls?
So here we are at Adventure Point, and we're behind the toilet block as you would normally head up into the top end of the park. As you can see, 20 Trackers in the background there. It's still intact. Now, it was open for the Christmas event, the one we just said we thought would still be on now. So it's only kind of been shut sort of a week, 10 days since it was last used. So normally you'd have all the trucks down on the side here. Dragon's Fury's drop would be kind of, or Lift Hill would be all under scaffolding, but it's not happened yet. Now, coincidentally, these rides also will be open for the February event. So Gruffalo, Tiny Truckers and the Carousel are going to have very little time in to have their winter maintenance this year. Whether or not they were done between the end of October and the start of the Winters event at the kind of mid-end of December, we're not sure. But they don't seem to be in a very rush to do it. Yeah, it is only the 1st of January, obviously, but when you see that some of the other rides have already been pulled apart and there's some Gruffalo boats over here, be interesting to see what they do. Now let's move over this side. So one thing you'll notice in the background, hopefully, right down the back there. Now that was where the pond was. Now the pond was kind of just filled in last year and just completely removed and replaced with a bit of grass. However, the bit of grass was kind of a bit of a free-for-all. As you can see now, and we'll zoom in shortly, there is a fence that's appeared around the grass. So it does look like that's going to remain unused and nothing go on there. Doesn't look like there's any flower beds or anything going to be kind of put in like there has been on this, or indeed a bush around it. But it will stop kind of the edges getting damaged, and it will stop the mud coming out as well. The fact that it's had a little fence put around it. As we come around here and we have a look at the carousel, which we did think would be open today. You can see from the video we took beforehand, just before this shot, that all the Christmas decorations are still up and it's all very, very Christmas-like here, which is brilliant. We're going to go around the other side because the VIP building is open. We believe we'll be able to see Dragon Falls from the kind of the Mexicana area and around about the Rattlesnake area. So that's where we're going to be heading right now. Go around there before we go and catch some of the animals. So there is a little bit we can see looking through the fence there. You'll see that Ramesses Revenge is under scaffolding. That's certainly not unusual for this time of year. That'll be undergoing its kind of regular maintenance and kind of any squashing any rumours as well that's going to be removed, but it's still very much sitting there intact with scaffolding around it, undergoing winter maintenance. And in the background you can see the Dragon Falls drop, or whatever it's going to be called next year. You can see it. You can see it in the background, and you can probably see that not a lot has happened to it. Now, the big kind of terrific fence, if you will, tigerific one, is still up, which is a bit surprising because that end of the park isn't really open. So I'm a bit shocked that hasn't been completely pulled down. And it certainly looks like nothing's happened in terms of the theming over there. Now, the theming is likely to be pre-built somewhere else, obviously, and come back in stages and then kind of be assembled over the top. Now, I would think that the enclosures will be being built first, so not too worried yet. 1st of January, I would expect a beginning of the opening season for that area and indeed the log flume again. The theming aspect wise, without a doubt, when they're getting new animals in there and the animals need to be settled, I would imagine over the back, which we don't have access to and we can't see, is where the action's going to be happening. So the enclosures should be going in, some of the walkways will be going in, certainly the fences and things will all be going up, and then I would imagine that the theming structures and the big tiger head that we've seen in all the advertising campaigns will kind of sit over the top and probably be put in quite late, probably more February, closer to the March time rather than immediately before the tigers have actually settled in. So not too much of a shock there. It's a bit of a shame we can't see anything, because it would have been nice to have seen a massive structure kind of going over the top there and we could have had a closer look at it, but on this occasion, not yet. Now then, as you've just seen as we walk through, you know, there seems to be very little kind of construction. Normally we can see what's going on and we can see various bits and pieces. We just had a quick look at Rattlesnake. None of the cars are there. They're usually stored up by Dragon's Fury, which we probably won't be able to see until February half term. You know, there's no scaffolding on it. There's, you know, it doesn't seem to be going under the same kind of regime that it's had before. Whether or not it's already been done, the park are ahead of themselves here, we're not really sure, to be honest. There's usually a massive hive of activity, but there's not a lot going on. There's not a lot going on in the theme park side. There might be loads going on over there that we can't see, but I somewhat think that, you know, any hints of another new ride or anything like that, probably not going to happen for next year. You know, behind where the old carousel used to be, looks like the game is staying for another year, which is a little bit of a shame. So, you know, the Land of the Tigers seems to be the only thing we're going to get really, really excited about in 2018 here at Chessington. Now, we're going to head over to the zoo, see if there's any changes in the zoo. Head down the Trail of the King, see if the tigers are still in situ and whether or not kind of they've been moved or there's any indication of what's going on there, and we'll go from there.
It's a light text, really.
So as we head over to Wanyama Village, you will notice already, like we have, there's a new sign. There's a new sign going over it. We love a good new sign. Let's have a quick look what else has been changed. Certainly a little bit fresher than before. So when you look over, there's new signs absolutely everywhere. Certainly a lot fresher, a lot brighter, kind of brightens up the area a bit. We'll be thinking there'll be a new fence here. That's good to see even in this weather that the animals are actually out, kind of enjoying themselves. We'll go up and have a look at the giraffes, see if they're out. See if the ostrich and zebras are kicking around.
There is penguins. Like wiggle their butts, yeah? To keep them fresh air. Like, I want to wiggle my butt.
So some lovely new signage down in Wanyama Village, brightening up a bit. If you want to see the rest of the signs, head to our social media now in the description below, and you'll be able to see all the improvements down in that area. We've then gone from there and we walked back across, had a look at the decorations on the front of Hocus Pocus Hall. It's a bit of a shame really that the mansion and this area isn't open at night, because you don't really get the best out of them when it only opens till 3 o'clock. But still, nice little touch. We've then kind of walked around Trail of the Kings. You know, the tiger area remains unchanged. There's a lot of theming in there. When you look at kind of the you know, the sculpture they've put in there and some of the paw prints and everything else, they've really kind of gone all out on the tigers. Now, we know they are supposed to be moving across with the new ones, and if they don't, it's going to look really weird having them in two different places. I just don't know what the plan is for down there. I'd love to know what the plan is for down there. What do you think? Do you think they'll keep the lions, the baby lions that are no longer babies, they're just over a year old? Do you think they'll move across there? Do you think they'll bring in another species of animal? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. What do you think will happen? But fairly uneventful, I have to say, actually. We probably made a good choice in not coming to Chessington too much during this close season, because it has been fairly uneventful. There's not a lot going on, there's not a lot you can see. You know, we could see construction of the carousel last year, we could see things going on with the vampire because we had access down the bottom. We had the Gruffalo to follow, in addition to, you know, Sea Storm being a part and Black Buccaneer being a part, and you know, we could see so much last year. It was really quite good to come and see. There's not a lot going on this year, which is a real shame. So we won't be back at the park probably till half term, and if we do come back in the meantime before half term, check our social media. Any pictures, any updates will be posted on our Facebook page, and indeed as an update on our website. We will be back for Animal Adventures in February, where we will film a short vlog, because hopefully we'll have a little bit more access to the park, certainly up to the stage and everything around that area, and there should be something to report on Tiger Rock, the log flume rebrand for 2018. So hopefully a little bit more. So that's it for the theme park side of things. We're going to have a quick look at some of the Winters Tail theming on the way out. We've seen where the show was. The show's down in the Pandemonium area. It's not actually on the Gruffalo stage, the Gruffalo show. I can't work it out either. It's probably because they don't want you to have access to up there. And there's some lovely looking snowmen and kind of Gruffalo themed snow sculptures on the way in, which actually look a little bit creepy. But we'll point those out on the way out. And that's all we've got to look at. That's it. Other than that, we're done. So we'll do those on the way out, and we'll see you on the outside.